Hello, this is G doing an overview on how to set up your sheets to import into Zoho Inventory. As you can see, I have my sample items sheet in front of me, as well as a sample composite item sheet. Both are needed for import since on the second sheet you actually reference data within this sheet here. So the way you need to look at this is these sample items contain all of the components to your composite items. I'll just do a quick run through on how the items needs to be set up. It's fairly straightforward. You'll have your item name, your description, your selling price, the sales account, the unit SKU, UPC, and here I will point out, and this is true for the other sheets as well, make sure the formats for these columns are set correctly. In this case, it looks like when you set a number format with no decimals. So now you have your UPC, EAN, and ISBN numbers. Your part number, again now purchase price, purchase account, purchase description, your inventory account, reorder level, inventory type, preferred vendor, opening stock, and opening stock value. So obviously you will want to try and fill this out as much as possible to bring into the inventory data. I don't believe anything in here is really required except for item name, the price levels, the accounts, and then the opening stock value. Those are the most important fields. Anything else, like the descriptions, aren't really necessary. Now, this will be the first sheet that we import. Once we import this, then we would import your composite sheet over here. Again, there is a formatting issue. Make sure that's set correctly. Set that as a number with no decimals. And the reason I want to show this is because if you have an ID, when building composite items, the way these are set up is that each row is referencing one of the components of that composite. So as you will notice here, the composite item name for laptop, its ID, its price, and most of its other information are just repeated across the rows that make up that composite item. So for these 4 rows, this makes up one composite item being the laptop, the price, sales account, taxable, exemption reason, product type, source, all that pretty much stays the same across the board. The price, the accounts, the opening stock and values, that all stays the same up until here. Once we get to the mapped item name and mapped item quantity, that's where we actually point out or designate the items that make up this composite item. So a laptop is comprised of the notepad, keyboard, charger, and mouse. And then we see here the quantities of each of those items that make up that composite item. So that's pretty much how you make sure you're setting up your side. Is first you create the list of all your items as shown in the previous sheet, and then make sure that you're using the same exact name that you have in your item sheet here as you do in your mapped item name column in the composite items sheet. And the same is true here. Make sure that you don't accidentally change the name slightly on any of the rows that comprise one composite item, because that will create a separate composite item altogether, and things could get split incorrectly. I believe that is it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks again.